So we have two auditoriums in the district. One of them was built in 1958. The other was built in 1976. Needless to say, they're aged. They are both almost entirely original. The middle school auditorium lacks both air conditioning and a suitable modern floor. The floor right now is made of asbestos tile that we need to remediate regardless of whether or not we move forward with a referendum. In looking at both spaces and determining what would be the best course of action to address and improve upon the performing arts spaces, we did not believe that merely renovating both of those spaces would result in the kind of value for our dollar that we wanted. And specifically, what I'm talking about is the fact that we don't have enough storage in either site. We don't have an ability to build sets and store them someplace that is out of the way and not in the middle of the stage, which is a potential hazard. We don't have a number of auxiliary resources in those spaces, such as modern light and sound booths, dressing rooms that can accommodate kids so they're not using classrooms and running down the hallway to get changed in between acts and sets, which is what we have now. So to build an auditorium that really would deliver and enable us to run our programs the way we think we should be able to run them, we needed to construct a new, or we would like to construct a new facility. On top of that, right now we have a number of venues, a number of events in the district, like Lafayette Music and music performances, for example, where we don't have enough seating. So a new auditorium accomplishes or addresses a lot of the issues and constraints we're currently dealing with. On top of that, the added benefit that is extremely important is that then we can take the current middle school auditorium and repurpose it for design and technology labs, as well as professional space, so that we can save some operating expenses by moving the current administrative offices closer and integrate them into the school district. Well, whenever you have a modern facility that has more flexibility, it gives you the ability then to explore other programming. So right now we intend to run next year for the first time a stagecraft course. We would have to use the current middle school auditorium to house that course at the current time until construction is completed. But we also, this past year, have initiated an elective in theater arts at Lafayette Avenue School for the first time in the history of the district. So we have Lafayette Avenue students taking theater courses, which we hope results in more interest in the theater arts by the time the students get to the middle school. And certainly having a theater that is of higher quality and caliber than the ones we currently have, we hope that that sparks greater interest in the student body as well. So the bottom line figure for converting the middle school auditorium into classrooms and also STEM classrooms and also professional space is about $2.1 million. That includes the savings derived from the state taking on a portion of the project, 40% roughly. So of the $2.1 million then, to build and to accomplish all of that, the Board of Education would be saving approximately somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000 a year in operating expenses. Then once the new auditorium is constructed, the operating expenses associated with heating, cooling, cleaning that facility would run about $40,000. So the net savings would be $50,000 or more by building the new auditorium, renovating the current one, and moving the various office functions in the district to one central location. The reason the Board of Education is seeking to construct a new auditorium is that right now we are woefully inadequate in terms of space and storage in both of our auditoriums. We don't have enough storage space for set construction, for set storage, for seating, for risers associated with music performances. Right now we are effectively using hallways for storage facilities. In addition to that, both of our student bodies at the middle school and the high school have outgrown their current auditoriums. Contrary to what some people believe, in just 3 years from now or so, we will have about 950 or so students at the middle school. So this auditorium would accommodate the entire middle school population. And having a space where we have more choice and control over how we design the size of the stage, the functions within the auditorium, will enable us greater flexibility in the future. We can't realize that with just modifying the current two spaces. In addition to that, as I mentioned, building a new auditorium enables us to capture the space of the current middle school auditorium and repurpose it for functions that we think are critical in the district. Currently, district facilities are rented out on an ongoing basis to outside groups. Typically, those groups are involved in athletics in some way. They are club sports or recreational programs. However, we sometimes rent to other outside organizations who need to or would like to use our cafeteria or a parking lot for one reason or another. We envision that if we have better and more attractive performing arts spaces, that we would have more interest from community groups who right now are traveling, and these are community groups whose clients are residents of Chatham, who are right now traveling to places like Morristown or Watchung to rent out those auditoriums. We think they would probably become interested in having some of their rehearsals or recitals here in Chatham. That would be a benefit and a convenience to residents in Chatham, and it would help us with our operating expenses as we are able to rent out the facilities to those groups. We do not anticipate any large venues that would cause terrible traffic problems or other issues for the local residents near the Chatham Middle School. Any rental to any outside group, whether it's an athletic group, whether it's a music-related group, whether it's some other group, all of that, like the adult school, for example, when it rents out the middle school, that takes place after school hours when students are not present and has not had any impact on the functioning of the district.
Expanded.
The plans for the current high school auditorium would entail updating most of the finishes and furniture that is in the current auditorium, such as the seating, the carpeting, the acoustic paneling on the walls. We would also make upgrades to the wiring system so that we don't have wire that's exposed in the places that we do now. In addition to that, we would replace the roofing structure and also the current HVAC system, which doesn't work as well as we would like it to. Although we investigated enlarging the high school facility in some way, it was not cost effective. And the reason it was not cost effective is primarily twofold. The first is that the high school auditorium is landlocked between Lafayette Avenue School and the high school. Because it is landlocked, the roof line is tied into both of those buildings, and it is not possible to bump out or sideways in any material way without either significantly disrupting the other, the nearby vicinity, or having to shut down classrooms that are in use right now at the high school or Lafayette Avenue School. So when I say twofold, what I mean is that on the one hand, it's not cost effective to expand the facility because it involves altering the roof line in a way that is just too difficult according to our architects from a cost perspective. And two, it would require us having to take out of commission classrooms in the high school. And right now, the high school is full. That's the reason we just had an addition put onto the back of the high school. So we can't go without 6 or 10 or 12 classrooms. On top of that, if you look at the entire high school property, it's fully developed. And we can't put an auditorium, for example, in front of the maintenance building when we need access to the maintenance garage, and our entire maintenance infrastructure is housed right next to the auditorium. We also need the circle in front of the auditorium for traffic flow and so forth between Lafayette Avenue School and the high school. And we need the athletic fields behind the school for physical education classrooms, classes, for recess, and for our sports teams that practice behind the high school.
Thank you.